Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media, and today I am doing the Maker's Color Combo for July. July, yes. And the colors are turquoise, teal, and tangerine. You can use black and white and a metallic, and so there's 3 colors each month and also a shape. So the shape for this month is diamonds. This is a open collaboration hosted by Ceri Griffiths, aka Ceri the Crafter, and Paulla. You can find more about it in the Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists Facebook group, which I will try to remember to put in the description box below. Or if you follow Ceri on Facebook or on YouTube, you can also, I'll try to, oh my goodness, what's the word I want? Link Ceri's video in the, oh my goodness, in the description box as well. So instead of starting out with painting something this month, because I've been doing most of my crafting up in my living room and not in my studio, I just grabbed papers from my stash that were close to the right colors. The orange that I have is not quite tangerine. It's probably a little bit more, I'm pretty sure that those painty papers on the corners, I used quinacridone nickel azo gold on those and some gums. Sorry about that. That was my phone. My goodness. Usually when I record with my phone, it puts it on do not disturb, and you guys don't have to hear when I get a message or something. But when I'm trying to do a voiceover, it just does all the things. And also, right before I was about to hit record, my door slammed open because my son, there was a juice box on his bed, you know, because he has type 1 diabetes, so juice boxes in case he goes low, and it had expanded or something like that, and so it was like leaking on his bed. So he was grabbing a towel out of the linen closet, and when he opened the linen closet, he opened it so far that it pushed my bedroom door open because the doors are right next to each other. So he's dealing with that. Poor kid. And my other son went to have dinner or have food. I don't know, it's only 3:30, but you know, Nash and Smash with his friend, and he was supposed to bring back some containers that belonged to her and her mother, and he left them on the table even after I reminded him. So, you know, it's just like everybody else's house, just a little bit hectic sometimes. So yeah, so I went ahead and recorded, and I've got this on double speed for most of the video. I don't really work this fast. I cut out a lot, and so it's, you know, probably might even be about a third of what I started out with. I don't know. It's definitely at least half. Cut out a lot of the gluing and some fussy cutting and whatnot. So now I've got my masterboard here all set to go. I'm adding some stamps, and I'm pointing to the insides of those X's. There's kind of sort of diamonds. That's why I chose the X's. I'm using other shapes as well. You know, the instructions or the guidelines are to use diamonds. And that first diamond stamp I used is one of Ceri Griffiths. Sold at Paulla Studio, and the one with the X's, so you can kind of see diamonds in between the X's. See, I like to think outside the box sometimes. Those are one of my designs from Paulla Studio, and then I just wanted to add some other shapes too. So I've got this grungy rose. I think it's a something rose. It's designed by Foil Davies, and that's also at Paulla Studio. Not that this is like a video to sell stamps. I'm just letting you know where they are, where you can find them if you want them. I think this one's by Christy Hartman. So yeah, I was just adding some other shapes. So I'm adding some stamping to the collage board, which is essentially, you know, what we like to call a masterboard in the mixed media world, junk journal world. And it will get cut down into smaller pieces. So in the junk journal / mixed media world, a masterboard is just a larger piece that you decorate, whether you collage on it or use paints, inks, whatever, that you then cut down smaller to make ephemera like tags, journal cards, pockets, belly bands, all the things. And I used on the back of this, I used digital from Susan Brown, because I had won some digitals one time, and that's the one I picked. So it works nicely for a background for a page, journal page, or for ephemera. So I've got them all cut up. Yeah, one of them only just was plain, but we'll remedy that in just a little bit. And I've got the teals and the turquoises and the tangerine orange. And some of these I'll cut into tags. Some of them I'll do the corner rounder to make journal cards. And then we will decorate them. So here we go. So yeah, go in and out with the zoom. Because I just went ahead and recorded far out. But then you see all the mess. That's kind of hard to look at all the time, I know. Probably could have moved those papers, but I was still using them. So now I'm zoomed in. Zoomed up, zoomed in, zoomed up. So I don't know what to say when I'm doing the voiceover. I'm just silly. But I had some of this painted paper, which is probably painted with, that might be nickel azo gold. It's a light tangerine. And so I'm using that as a little background, and then using one of these stamps, which is a design by Michelle. What is Michelle's up? Michelle with one L. The Creative Cove on YouTube. She has these silhouette ones, and they're kind of fun to use. And they're a little bit smaller than mine, so they work nicely when I have a smaller tag. And mine are larger because that's what I requested, because I like the larger botanicals for if I'm working in an art journal or I'm making larger tags. So yeah, so that's why mine are a little bit larger, but they work well for what I like to use them for. And then, you know, if you want the smaller ones, you do more ATC size things. There's these ones that Michelle designed. Okay, there we go. Getting that on there. I'm going to ink around it in a second. Oh yeah, I'm doing the tear / fussy cut thing on that one, like I like to do. And I didn't cut out as much of that as I probably could have, but that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. So just layering that. Since that one only had the teal on it, I wanted to add some turquoise and some of the tangerine color to it, so that it fit the brief. Now it's called just color combo. Some people might say challenge, but it's more of a stepping off point to get your creative juices flowing. So now I'm using a teal marker. I'm pretty sure that's a Tombow marker. So if it gets wet, it's gonna move about the cabin because it's water soluble, but that's okay. And just drawing the leaves for the botanical, and then I'll add the outline in the stem. I do have a video where I show how I do this. It came out a month or two ago. I guess a couple months ago, because those drawings were the ones that I based my July stamp release on. Some of those. Yeah, I think so. But it's easier to do this than to fussy cut. Let's put it that way. Because then I don't have to worry about fussy cutting all the little inside bits. I can just draw it right onto the card. I could use alcohol markers, the water soluble markers, or Posca pens, acrylic paint markers, any kind of ink or whatever to do that. And now I'm taking the silhouette stamp and just outlining the leaves with a permanent pen, which is fairly thin. I think that one actually came with it's got a plastic nib on it, I think. I think that one came with a set of calligraphy pens that I got. And I do like this one. And my favorite pens to use are the Micron ones that have PN on them, which means plastic nib. Those are my favorites. They're harder to come by just by themselves, but Amazon does have a pack of 5, I think, but they're not super cheap. I'm just adding a little grounding to that one. I don't know if I like it. These could kind of use like a label or something, but those are downstairs and I didn't feel like going to get them. So speaking of my stamps, this is one of the stamps from the July set. I was trying to fussy cut one and it just wasn't working for me, so I just went ahead and stamped on this little piece, and then rounded the corners since the background's rounded, and colored it with marker. I think that one might be alcohol marker that I'm using there. And then just glue it on and we got a piece. And so yeah, then we're doing a little bit of a darker orange in the centers, just to give it a little bit of dimension, I guess. But I'd say that's kind of a tangerine color that I used for that one. I didn't want them to all be exactly the same. I wanted some variation. but they're still like family. They still kind of go together. So yeah, and I used a combination of some painted papers and some digitals that I printed, and then this white piece that I'm gluing on is just a piece that was there on my table. When I gone through papers looking for the colors, it was there, and I was like, oh, let me just go ahead and stick that over there. I might want to use it. So yeah, sometimes I'll draw my botanicals and then fussy cut them. And this is I did a while back, did that stamp over some watercolor paper and fussy cut that out. That stamp is also sold by PM Artist Studio. I'm adding a little bit of teal to the middle, and then I didn't like that, so I added orange on top of that to just kind of blur it about the cabin. I don't know. I mean, it was better after I did that because I was just like filling the circles with the teal. And so now I think we are on our last two. So this one I'm doing again the little leaves and then the outline just as my little focal point. And this is an easy way to draw botanicals for me. Because I don't always like when you just have like the stem going up the middle and the leaves coming off the side. I find this to be a little bit more interesting. Not that there's anything wrong with doing it that way. That is an art style that is interesting and fun. Just for me, I like this way. I find it interesting and quirky. They end up a little bit quirky, and I like that. And they're all just slightly different, and they don't take a lot of planning. Yeah, it was too wide, so I just took a little bit off the edge and then inked it and stuck it over to the right because it was kind of crooked on that side anyway. And then we had the orange on the top right and the orange on the bottom left. So it kind of balances it a little bit for me. And now we're on the last one. So yeah, this month I just decided I would just do the collage for the color combo. All right, so this is a piece, it's got copper metallic on it. So I just stamped it on there, half fussy cut it out, half ripped it. That way I don't have to cut out all those little center pieces. I'm trying to cover up that white bit at the top. It didn't happen, but it was fine. It looked fine. And, oh, and then I went back through and used the same stamps that I had already used on the masterboard on each individual one. And I think that adding stamps that cover like that background of the focal point and the background, it kind of incorporates it a little bit and unifies it some. That's just my opinion. And I'm just adding like the secondary and thirdary stamping, you know, the ghost stamps. Just a little bit of grunge on there. That's one of my, yeah, I was going to say that's one of my favorite stamps. I love a lot of them. And this is all of them finished. And I hope you guys have a delightful day. And I love you. And thanks for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment, and share with your friends. Bye, guys.